Good morning, everybody. Um, so it's still another crazy week. I feel like everyone just need a detox. I mean, usually when you do a detox, you just getting rid of a lot of bad stuff in your life, and you're kind of like spring cleaning. You're getting a lot of bad stuff out. You're selling it, and just getting a lot of that stuff out of your system, out of your house, out of your mind. Um, but the detox that I'm kind of talking about is just some of the negativity that you've been feeling inside right now with everything being so divided. People want to get their voices heard. So it's at that point where it seems like it's any means necessary. So it's very hard because if you feel like your voice doesn't matter, or if you feel like every time you try to speak on it, someone shuts it down every time, it gets you can't tolerate it for so long. So then you start to explode, and it's a it's a way where you have to express all those feelings, and it's just a lot. But if we were somehow to come together and have those conversations, um, like throughout the year, on how we can make things better, that would be the best thing to do. Um, because just how everything's going, like you just really need to just detox and just get it out of your body, out of your mind, because we as human beings, the human race, believers in Jesus Christ, we all have to be in this together. We all have to be one body, and just making sure everything is going according to the plan. You have to be helping each other out. So that's the hard part, because when you look at different cities, and um, segregation is like it's like real. Like it's always eye opening when you're visiting different places, to notice that how segregation is so real. And it might not be where you're at, but it's a real thing. Growing up in Chicago, I noticed. Well, you don't notice as you're a kid. You stay in your certain area, you go to your certain businesses and things like that. And then we made a move to Nebraska, um, and then you notice it was just different. So growing up in Chicago, it was predominantly African American. Um, I did not see too many white people, Europeans, Caucasians, um, until I went to Nebraska, to Norfolk, Nebraska, and that's when it was just like a whole different. It was a culture shock. It was a culture change, and I just learned different things. It was cool. Like sports were heavy, clubs were heavy, school was heavy, and the small town Norfolk, Nebraska, and it was cool learning all that stuff. But there's also some downsides to that, obviously, um, where at one point you felt included, you felt the connection with everyone, um, the common things that you had similar, and then you go to Norfolk, and you kind of like you stick out a little bit more. There's not as many African Americans in Norfolk, Nebraska, but we do find that common ground in sports and basketball, and it becomes like a little brotherhood, and that's your connection. That's what brought a lot of my connections together with sports, because that was the only thing you can do. You go hang out with your friends, you go play sports, you have those memories, and you do great things. But sometimes it's just very hard, um, to kind of go back and forth, because sometimes you just think like, why can't it be like that? Everyone's just kind of like together. But it's hard when um, I want to treat everybody how I want to be treated, how God told me that everyone should be treated. Um, but if you don't understand that, then it's you're gonna be looking at me like I'm crazy. Um, why does he have so much joy? Why does he have so much light? Because I know who created me. I know my purpose in this world is, and it's not going to be altered by anybody. I mean, I know there's a lot of things that get in your mind that can like hit you with a sledgehammer around the neck or something like that. But you have to continue um, on your purpose and walking in your purpose, um, spreading the word, being very vocal, speaking up on certain things. Cause this is really just what it's all been about. This whole thing is just speaking up. A lot of times, communities are just not talking about real issues. We're talking about good morning, how are you doing? Walk past. You're not talking about the real issues that you're really struggling today because of this and that. And if you never talk about that stuff, then yes, it's gonna build up, and then it's gonna blow up, and that person that asked you that last time was not expecting that. So, sometimes you just have to try it. You have to try it out on people. When someone asks you how you doing, be like, man, like I didn't have a good day. And I mean, most people are really concerned when you just express yourself a little bit. Because I was doing this one time at work. I was like, man, like I'm mad because I was working on the garden and stuff like that, and it just kind of like it was just super hard. I was tired. I was hot, and it was just a lot of stuff. So it was just really frustrating. So she stopped there. She looked at me. She seen the concern. We kind of talked a little bit, and then you just kind of went on your way. So if we can just break that tradition that we always do of like when you're at work, that I'm in a rush type thing, like I'm gonna be late, like just get to know people, and get to know their family, and just get connected with people. Usually when I don't work with people that often, when I work with people and like I haven't really talked to you, it's a list of things I want to know about you like right away. And so be prepared. If I don't know you and I have an hour with you, we're gonna get to know each other very quickly. But yeah, segregation is very real, and some people don't even know that. But it's very real, and there has to be a way to improve it, to stop a lot of the violence. But it's very hard when we're not all on the same page, and that's the hard part. I don't know if we will ever get to that point, but all the people that we can change and impact will be enough said, because you already have a lot of work relationship with different people, which is important. We shouldn't care about the color of someone's skin, and that's enough is like that. Just like you shouldn't care about the color of someone's skin. We should be able to just have a conversation with someone, move on with your day. But when you're trying to threaten someone's life because of the color of their skin, that's just like, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it should come down to that. I think you should try to get to know people, move on, have a conversation with people, because usually most people have a great intentions. Most people just want to feel safe. They want to just do their work, do what they're passionate about, and then come home and see their kids. I mean, when you have people in higher places making things as a puppeteer and moving pieces to make people upset and angry, that just gets everybody mad, divided, because when we're divided, we can't do anything together. When we're divided, we can't do a simple task as having a block party or something like that. One thing that I'm not even sure about, it's like all the neighborhoods kind of have to come together on some common cause. that's when it comes to like sometimes sports. You know, sports is usually the thing that brings a lot of people together. You rooting for the same team. You know, like what team are you rooting for? You know, I'm rooting for Jesus Christ. Like, wouldn't it be a wonderful sight if everyone was rooting for the same thing at all times, and we would just be so loving towards each other, uh, so in sync with each other. But right now, it's not in the cards right now. Right now, the devil is really having his way right now, and you have to be aware of what's going on. You have to be aware of just all the backstories of everything that's going on. Because when people are getting paid to do this stuff, it just the riots and stuff like that. When people are getting paid to do riots, that's when it gets like kind of tricky. Like, it's just like one of those things like where people were like sponsoring like cigarettes and stuff like that, saying that they're so healthy for you. Riots doesn't even sound healthy. But you always feel conflicted about the issue, especially when it kind of hits home for you, and you can relate why everyone's like angry, because everyone wants change, but when change happens, no one wants to see it through, and that's the hard part about you seeing the peaceful riots, and then later in the day it gets ruined because people are just mad, and people are possibly getting paid to do that stuff, and some people are just like going with it because there's a lot of followers and not enough leaders in this world. But I guess I just wanted to just leave you with that. Just trying to detox some of the stuff out of your life, and when you detox stuff out of your life, you got to add good stuff, so you can be using the Word of God, and just renewing your spirit, renewing your mind, and just continue to grow and continue to learn. So that's the toughest part. A lot of people do not want to change. They're comfortable in their area. They don't want to grow, or they don't have the tools to grow. So how are you giving people tools so that they can grow and become a better person? How are you giving people tools to have a better lifestyle? How are you giving better tools to teach someone a new trade? How are you giving people tools? So if you can package that up and you can hand that out, you can be making the world a better place. So that is exactly why we need to detox and then add the good stuff, the Word, and then you can see all the fruit that is produced by everything that you're doing. That's what like if you are a barber, you always looking at your product, you're always seeing like, oh, that looks good, and you want to make sure that you're doing such a good job that you inspire the next generation to do an even better job than you. And that's like the best feeling, is like, oh yeah, I remember this and that. But if it doesn't have a great foundation, a lot of stuff will fall out. Every time I was playing basketball, it was such a great feeling. It was such fun, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a good. It was a faulty foundation. I went out played basketball because my friends were there, and it's a great time. It was a free education. I took a free ride to school pretty much. I loved it. I enjoyed it, but you just have to continue to grow. You have to continue to move on. At some point, you're gonna have to hang up your shoes, your cleats. So it's your choice, and it was one of the hardest choices ever, because it's something that you devote your life to at some point. But I say it was a faulty thing because I feel like once you get to a certain point, once your body feels a certain way, yes, you can push through it and stuff like that. But once you just realize that there's bigger things in the world, bigger causes in the world that you can have an impact with, with like the purpose, like giving the word, doing videos, just trying to inspire or spark some interest in people. That's way more powerful, I feel like, than um, doing that. I'm not trying to diss basketball because I can lace up and hoop with anybody. Um, but I'm just saying how I'm feeling, how my purpose is growing and maturing, um, so that I can maybe spark something in someone or inspire someone to be better than me. Um, that's what everyone wants. So again, the detox, um, the adding the new stuff, the word, and then segregation is real and it's unfortunate. You want to be in a very collaborative neighborhood, but there's so many reasons why it divides us because you don't know, you don't interact with them. Like it has to be a better way. It has to be something that someone can create and solve so that we can all interact and use different areas and different lives so that we can be the best nation. America is supposed to be this great nation, but we sugarcoat a lot of stuff. We have the fairy dust over top to say that from all the entertainment and all the movies that we watch, that America is a very great place, but this the magic dust over top and the alakazam and alakazam is getting us going to a whole different direction. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys that spiel. I hope it inspires you. I hope it lifts you up. I hope it gives you a better purpose. And just realizing what you need to package up so that you can deliver it to whoever needs to hear it. I want you to be authentic. I want you to be who you truly are. I don't want you to do something that you don't feel like you're really called to do. I want you to really think about, what do I like? What do I see myself doing? What can I play around with if I'm at a young age so I can know, like, okay, I have 3 to 4 years of school left. I have a couple months left in my trade, and I have to make sure that if this doesn't work, I have this, that, and that going through. Like, I understand if you're that go-getter, you only got one plan and stuff like that, but what if your finger breaks? What if your family member needs you to go help them? Like, you have to just make sure that your option is just like guaranteed. Like, online school is just such an amazing opportunity for a lot of people, and you have to take that chance. You have to risk it for the biscuit, to make sure that you are investing in yourself so that you can invest in other people. That's the most important thing. A lot of us, even myself sometimes, want to invest so much in other people, but you forget to invest in yourself so that your self-care is good, so that your mental capacity is good, so that you're able to focus on that and also be looking at that at the same time so that you can make the world a better place. Who doesn't want to make the world a better place? You don't want to be bitter all your life about things that you couldn't do. You have to close chapters. You have to close books and move on to the next thing. That chapter for me on closing the book to basketball was a very hard chapter, and I still struggle with it. I'd remind Ali, like, man, like, yeah, I could have possibly gone overseas and did this and that, and we could have moved over there and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like, I don't think it was me. I don't know if I could have said a bunch of other things, but it's just a hard thing. It's hard to let go of those things. Like, that's just real. Just being open with you, it's hard to let go of it because I feel like I'm so gifted in it, and I know I can just. It's easy, So why just change all of a sudden? Well, because my heart felt different, and no, sorry. My heart didn't feel different. My mind, just the connection with how I was feeling with God, the calling to start what he told me to start. That's what it was. My heart is bad. My heart is terrible. Like I have a lot of selfish, ambitious things that I want to accomplish, and that's something that I just need to sometimes take aside. Because when I think about basketball, that is selfish. That is me. That's me. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to do everyone and do the self care that I need to make sure that I am strong for my family and for my son and for my family members, so that I can do all of that. So again, detox, adding the word, segregation is real, and have a blessed day. And I hope everyone has a great Wednesday. And just think good thoughts, get in the word, and start a new hobby, and turn the TV off.